Welcome to our show. Thank you for tuning us in. We start with you. You are the star of the show. We start with you on our telephones just about every night. We call it first word at the top of the show because you got the first word after I say hello briefly. And we do not screen the calls during this part of the show. We just take them as they arrive. Unscreened, put you right on hold at 877-4ALAN, 877-367-2526. So tell us who you are. Hello.
Hello.
Who's this?
My name is Robert, and I'm in Denver. And last night I just turned on your show, and within a minute it sounded very familiar. This lady was talking about my situation, about the right to die with dignity if you are in imminent death situation.
So tell me about your situation. We were talking to a caller who said he was thinking of taking his life, and that's how that conversation got started.
And then this lady called, and then she mentioned the Alan Colmes Show and Robert. And I am the Robert from the Alan Colmes Show. And my situation is I have a bovine aortic heart valve that was installed over 14 years ago, 14 years and 5 months ago.
Right.
So it is deteriorating to the point where my death is imminent, and I will probably be dead in 6 months or less, more than likely.
Tell me what kind of condition that is.
My aortic heart valve is deteriorating because it's a bovine valve, and they only last 10 to 15 years.
Can they replace it?
Yes, but I am not going for the operation because it is just too brutal, too invasive. I went through it once, and after that, I knew that I was never going to have it done again. And so I've known that this has been coming.
Well, I mean, if it's a choice between life and death, would you not want to go through the operation to retain your life?
Absolutely not, no.
Why not?
I just told you, it's too brutal and too invasive to go through a second time. My choice is to die comfortably rather than to go through all the brutality of that.
What do you mean by, I'm just curious, because I don't know. When you say it's brutal, in what way?
Okay, let me describe to you, Alan, because there is no procedure, no medical procedure on a human that is more invasive, more brutal, more just picture this. Right. First, they rip you completely open. They cut open your chest and spread apart your ribs. Then they totally collapse your lungs for access. Then this is not like the bypass surgery.
Right.
Then they take your heart and basically cut it out of your body, disconnect all the valves and everything. They put you on total life support. Then they take your heart, put it on top of your chest, cut your heart almost completely in half, then cut out the old valve, and cut in and then stitch in a new valve, and then try to put you all back together again.
Right.
And it's brutal. And I know of a few other people who've gone through this who decided not to have an operation again a second time when the valve finally did go bad. And that's my choice. But I'm finding here in Colorado that it is very hard to have your choice, and I don't have the right really to have any assisted suicide or euthanasia or anything like that. Right. I basically have to take my life illegally, which I do not think is fair because just one state south of me, New Mexico, you can have a doctor assist you in this situation so that you can get the medication and take it when you determine it's the right time and place to do so.
Right. So when are you planning to do this?
When I am no longer able to take care of myself anymore, when I cannot cook, when I cannot get around, when I cannot go out and get my food, shopping and stuff like that.
Well, do you have any idea when that would be?
It's going to be within a few months. Things are catching up with me. My heart gradient is at 52 right now, and it's getting harder and harder to do things.
Now, what does that mean? I'm not familiar with what that metric is.
Well, the metric, a zero heart gradient is perfect, and then as your heart valve starts getting more and more deteriorated, it lets out more blood flowing in a wrong direction, and so the bad opening is done by a gradient. And 18 months ago, my gradient was 30, and then in a year's time, it went up to 50, which is really drastic, and lately it's been holding right around 50. But at 70, you're dead. At 60, you're pretty much having a tough time doing things other than just staying in bed.
How old are you now?
How old am I? 58.
Yeah.
I'll be 59 in 2 more months.
How are you coping emotionally with this?
Well, It's not as tough for me, I imagine, as some people, because, for one, I've known this all my life. I've been prepared for this all my life. I was told at the age of 15 that I would never be able to have medical health care, and that by the time I was 40 or 45, I'd be dead. Fortunately, heart valve operations have become a thing that can take care of the situation where I actually got an extra 15 years to live, but I've known this has been coming all my life, and I'm not a religious person at all, so I don't have that to worry about, and I do believe in karma. And so I'm not afraid to die. It's a part of life, and it's something that should be almost like celebrated in a way.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have a family?
Yes. Somewhat. I mean, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I have brothers, a sister, and my mother's still alive.
Any close friends?
Oh yeah. And we have, some of them are totally accepting the situation, and others are kind of like fighting it somewhat.
Anybody telling you, hey, don't do it, really trying to convince you not to make this choice?
Oh yeah. And more of those people are like acquaintances rather than
But
friends.
you're not going to be swayed, it sounds like.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm not going through that operation again, and my death is imminent without the operation. And there's another procedure that is a clinical procedure, a transcatheter procedure where they can take a collapsed bovine valve that's held together with a metal ring and put that through your leg through a catheter and bring that into your heart and drop that over the heart valve.
Right.
But that's a very tricky procedure, and since I already have a bovine valve that is deteriorating, to drop this new valve on top of it is even more of a risk. So I decided that I was not going to be a guinea pig for that procedure.
Well, go ahead.
What I'm calling about is that we all need to think about this situation in our own terms and wonder what is going to happen when this situation arises with you, the callers, because in 45 states right now, we do not have the right to die with dignity, to choose how, where, and when we die. We have to let the state decide, and that is a very, very scary
As you're talking, I was thinking about a few years ago, the Terry Schiavo case in Florida. And now conservatives are all about, if she's got to live, we're pro-life, you can't kill her, you can't. And she's in a vegetable estate. And her husband says, she wanted to go. Her brothers and family said, no, we got to keep her. And it became a big fight until it had to go to court. It's a shame.
It was an embarrassment. And it happened near my hometown in Florida, but I don't live there anymore. I live out in Denver, Colorado.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to exist in that kind of a state. Like, pull the plug on me. There, I've said it on the air now. You got the tape. So,
now, would you want to wait until you just finally die? If you were going to die by filling up with your own blood and drowning in your own blood and swelling up with your own blood?
Not necessarily. I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I never. It's something that most people don't think about because it's hard to come face to face with your own mortality. The fact that you've done that, I find remarkable because I don't think most people can do it.
Well, it's something that we all need to face, and whether it's something that scares you or not, everybody should start thinking about it some, because you just don't know when somebody could hit you in a car or something and just make you a vegetable. Do you want to stay that way, or do you want to?
For me, I'd say no. I don't want to be a vegetable. If I couldn't function in a certain way, I wouldn't want to be alive.
Well, there's a new medical form out, and I don't think it's at all 50 states yet, but most of the states have it, and it's called a MOST form, M-O-S-T form. And it stands for Medical Orders of Scope of Treatment. And it would be a good thing to sit down with your doctor or whoever that you deal with medically and get one of these forms filled out so that this is taken care of in advance. And I also have a medical power of attorney, and I'm keeping these on me at all times, keeping a copy posted to the refrigerator, and trying to make known to everybody what my wishes are. But you can still get in a situation where you could get in an ER room, and all of a sudden they're trying to save your life, and all of a sudden the next thing you know, you're in a situation where you're trapped for years.
How are you going to do it?
How?
Yeah.
I really want to just do it the legal way by taking Nebutol, which is what they give you in the 5 legal states. But I'm finding that's almost impossible to get. You used to be able to go down to Mexico and take a trip down there and get it, but now it's tougher to get Nebutol than it is heroin or cocaine in Mexico.
So what will you do?
Helium. I guess I'm going to have to surround myself with helium and die that way. It's quite painless. It puts you into a coma, and then you're dead within 10 minutes. You're in a coma within 3.
Wow. You've done your homework, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds kind of weird saying it that way, right? But
yeah, but I'm looking at it, I laugh about it, I joke about it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. Basically, I'm not going to starve myself to death like some people have suggested.
Tell me your first name again.
Robert.
Robert, thank you for calling. I know it's a lot of food for thought, given what we've talked about last night. It takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing, I think. I don't know that everybody could do it. I don't know that it, but yet people have the right to do with their bodies as they want. I think that it's a very tough decision to have to face this.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you allowing me the time to speak today.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much. Well, that's our first word. We're going to come right back. Name and